Ooh, who is she? Did she get another haircut? Is this a new fashion style for her? Did she get a side shave? No, I just, Jimmy rigged this situation because my hair just eats bobby pins. So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a long time since you've had a proper video from me, because your girl's been all over the place. I got back from New Zealand and life has just been catching up with me ever since. Or I've been trying to catch up with life. And it's only gotten worse because I'm going to Toronto very soon, like less than a month. Gonna be with the Wander Writers girls and my CPs and my lovely friends, so I'm very excited. I've never been to a writing retreat before, and I'm nervous to meet so many people, and then like, oh my god, what if they don't like me? But then like, I've interacted with I think the majority of them, and they seem to like me online. So here's hoping. That sounds really sad. So I have that, and I also have a trip camping in September, and then I also have a trip I'm not talking about yet because all the details are not confirmed yet, but there's definitely something happening in November. That's a big thing for me, and so we'll see the days of the stuff about that, but it's just another travel related thing, and I'm very freaking excited. So with all of that in mind and all of my secret projects that are all having the deadlines coming up really soon, I haven't been able to film a proper video for you guys. So god, this is like making me look like I have like no hair here. We're putting this down. I'm sorry if you guys, tell me what you thought of that down below, because I don't know. My forehead just feels ginormous in this viewfinder. Okay, back to, oh, there are the bobby pins. I see, I tried to put bobby pins in. So I'm just gonna talk to you guys while I get these out of my hair, I think. Okay. I'm not lying, my hair just eats these. It just, they don't go into my actual hair. We're gonna leave those there. So things that you've missed since a proper video is I've been filming for Camp Nano. That's been exciting. I cut my hair and it was at an awkward length, and now it's at an even more awkward length, so we'll see how I handle that while traveling. That's it, life updates I feel like that I can actually tell you about that you haven't already seen in my vlogs. And so on to actual writing updates, because in my vlogs I've been telling you generally like sort of what I'm doing, but the last writing episode I made was still in March, and I feel like in my vlogs you're not getting the full scope of what's going on. So we're gonna dive into that, your questions from the last video, the ones I got off for Twitter, and general updates for this crazy freaking book. So I would like to update my yearly goals. As you know, I used to post goal videos. I might one day bring them back. Just right now, so many secret things are happening. Once those secret things are revealed, I might be able to actually make goal videos again to tell you guys what I'm up to. But when every goal is like a secret goal or work on a secret project, I can't tell you about it. So I'm going to hold those off for a little bit. But if you guys remember from the beginning of the year, by the end of this year, I wanted to be querying already. That's before I realized that I need to rewrite all the Spaceborne. I'm a little over 12k words in. I think I'm breaching 15k now. And honestly, the first 10k is always the hardest for me. No matter what I'm writing, how long I've been writing it, no, if it's a sequel, first book, it doesn't matter. If it's the first 10k always kills me. And I can always know whether or not I'm gonna actually complete a book or not if I can finish the first 10k. If a shiny new idea pulls me away from it before the first 10k, I'm probably not gonna ever finish it. Or it's just gonna be a really back burner book. Like all the other books that I've said, oh, I'm one day gonna work on these, they are specifically books that I either got to a 10k in before I like moved on to a different project, or they're books that I just picked characters and like plot out and never actually physically wrote any of the book, or if I did, it was just testing the waters and not actually something solid to go in the manuscript. So that's why I'm more confident in those ones to like tell them to you guys, you know? So I finally hit the 10k mark and I feel myself already like breezing through this rewrite more. I don't even remember if I talked about rewriting my book in the last writing episode. I think it was in March. It's July now. So things have changed since then. I remember I did say though that I was on like the 12th draft, and one of my goals was to get to the 14th draft by the end of the year, but I'm pretty sure that 12th draft, as soon as like I posted that video, I realized, holy shit, this book's not working, and then thus started the 13th draft. And then I read Aurora Rising. It made me realize all the things that I was doing wrong in my book, just pacing wise. And then I was rewriting the book. So I don't know if this counts as the 14th draft, or I'm pretty sure there was one in between. I don't know. That was not a good way to judge where I was. And I've been saying like on Twitter, I'm on like the 13th draft now. There was definitely a whole lot more in between March and now. There's so many freaking drafts of this book. There's like, I'm on my 4th rewrite of this book. I don't think I ever finished the 3rd one. The 2nd one was more so like rewriting certain chapters and copying, pasting a whole lot of areas. And so this is straight from scratch rewriting. There's still some lines that I really like that are going to remain the same or slightly altered, and some plot points are still key, but for the most part, the book is from scratch again, which I've been working on this book for 3 freaking years. 3 years, and I'm rewriting it for the 4th freaking time on like the 15th draft probably. But we're just gonna call it probably draft 13 because all those little ones are just didn't do anything. Besides making me realize what I actually needed to do. So I'm gonna say I'm on the 13th draft, the 4th rewrite, over the course of 3 years. It'll be 4 years next January. Like, it's a good lot, and I'm glad that I'm still really dedicated to the story. But like, that's a lot of time to be like, going and realizing you did everything wrong and rewriting the whole thing. But at least I realized that before I try to go and send it out into the query trenches. And because now I feel like I'm gonna be writing a whole lot more now that I've hit the 10K, which is what I really, really wanted to do before I went to Wander Writers Retreat in Toronto. I feel like I can write a lot there. I don't know whether or not I'm gonna get distracted because of everybody and all the things we're gonna do, or whether or not I'm just gonna like really focus in, but then still enjoy myself. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to get a lot of words. I haven't brought this up to like the girls, but I'm really hoping for some 10K days, and I know Mandy Lynn, who's going, she like has her 10K word days. I should really message her like and be like, can we have one for just like the Wander Writers, because that'd be so cool. But I don't know how that fits into like their itinerary, but at least for me, I want to get back to the point where I can write 10K a day, because that's what I used to do religiously. That's how I wrote like 100K plus novels in a month. It's because it's all I did, 1, and then 2, because I was having constantly 10K days. I want to get back to that. Like, I plowed through towards the end of that 10K and past that 10K to get to almost 15K with a lot of like 2,000 word days, and that was my typical day. I would say was balanced somewhere between 2,000 words and 10,000. I was very much that person who would either barely hit 500 words, which was rare, I'd get 2,000 words, and that was like my regular day, or then I would have days where I hit 10K pretty easily. It honestly just depended on how tired I was from school, because this is like back in high school, and how much homework I had. Or if I went to school at all that day, because your girl was sick a lot. If I was sick, it was actually a good day because I got to go and stay home and write. So I want to get back to where I can do those like really huge chunks of word counts, but still clean draft it, because I don't want to go and realize I need another rewrite after this because it's so messy. So I've been slow drafting it, and that's why it's been taking a little bit longer. But I used to be able to slow draft and still get 10K out in a day, because I would do like 10-hour writing days. That's from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep, especially on weekends. That's all I did, because your girl did not have a life. Now I have a life. It's interfering with the writing, but I'm still not sorry about it. So again, with the yearly plans, is I really want to submit to Author Mentor Match again, but I'm pretty sure the next round is in October, and I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be ready by then, especially because I'm gonna be gone to Toronto in August, and then I'll be camping with definitely no computer to write in September, and then I have to prepare for this other huge thing by November, and October is like right in the middle of that. And I did have two big projects I really wanted to do that are secret in October, and I'm not going to talk about what those are because one isn't writing related and the other one I haven't worked on enough to actually announce whether it's going to happen this year. But there are 2 projects I really want to have up and running and active by then. As for the other secret projects, I really want them pretty much to all be in line by my birthday. I'm not gonna say when my birthday is. If you know my birthday, then you know something that maybe some other people won't know. It'll be my birthday gift to myself, is finally being finished with these freaking projects. Because I feel like once I've started these things, it'll be really easy to continue with these projects. But it's the starting that's hard, and it's the starting and keeping it secret that is the hardest, because then I can't share it with anybody, and then it gets lonely. I'm sorry I'm like wild. I had like caffeine gum and coffee today because they discontinued my favorite fucking caffeine gum and the only one I could find, so now your girl's having coffee and has a drawer right here stacked full of every single piece of alert gum I could find in my area. I bought all of them in case of emergency. They will probably all go bad before I can actually use them all, but they're here. And I don't mind expired gum. I will chew it if I need that caffeine. So I had both those and I'm fucking hyper as hell. I think I wanted to, like, NaNoWriMo, Camp NaNoWriMo plans, I wanted to write 50K. I don't know why I set this goal for myself, because like my real internal goal was knowing I really hope I get to at least 10K, but I wanted to push myself, and no. I'm hoping though to get and surpass 15K before I go to the Wonder Writers Retreat, which is in 2 weeks, and I mean that's only like, I need like 3,000 extra words, so I should probably set a goal for more like 20,000 words, but that's the problem with setting word goals, is because then I get a little rambly, and the first part of this book, I'm not even really to like the true inciting incident, and it's already 12K words, and it's probably not going to hit the inciting incident until probably like 15K. I'm almost there, but that's the part I don't like about this rewrite. I mostly like this rewrite. I love my first page. I love how it starts now. Like, I love the dynamics and how so early on you can get this like sense of foreshadowing and these introductions of these characters that weren't there before. I love all of that, but I don't like how long it takes the story to start. So that's been my one problem, but every time I've started it anywhere sooner, the whole thing just gets so confusing, and I like just can't use any of the freaking material, and the beginning ends up so jumbled and so like it doesn't make any freaking sense. And that was a lot of the problem that I had with beta readers, is that they would like not like the beginning because it was kind of difficult to balance, you know, the world building, the foreshadowing, and the plot when you had no context, and then like fumble your way through the book. You know, the beginning was very, very heavy and draggy, and luckily that's not the case anymore. I feel like it's very, you know, I don't want to say action-packed, because that, you know, says that there's like a point where it's never that, because the entire book is action-packed as shit, and the beginning very much tells you now like what story you're getting into, because before the book started out in a trial, and now it's basically the main character, Soraya Larson, standing on a rooftop planning to kill somebody. And that I find is a whole lot more accurate to what the story is versus this story of like a trial. You know, you start thinking it's like a, you know, a serial crime like novel or something, you know, in space, like, which is cool. That's like The Expanse partially. The book is mostly about morally gray characters. That's the backbone of the whole story, is you have Soraya Larson. She's this person who has been wronged in many ways, and she's taken upon herself to wrong other people because of her hurt and her pain, and she's done things that aren't good to put it in the nicest way. And so to start off with her planning to kill somebody in this dark, ominous sort of town is the best way I think I can start it, and unfortunately there's no way to make that shorter, because what happens after she attempts to kill this person is what takes a large chunk of time. It's about like, you know, a large 3K word section of the aftermath of what she attempts to do, kind of biting her in the ass, and then also making you realize that she's not as bad of a person as the first chapter made you believe she was. And so there's no way for me to really shorten that at this time. Maybe like a beta will like give me some advice or something that'll help me shorten it up later. And it does help the fact that like at the end of the first and second chapter there are these beats that are almost like inciting incidents, and it does start her on her path to the rest of the story, but the real inciting incident is later. So she has like a bunch of these false starts that are still moving her forward, but not necessarily in the direction that she wants to go or that the plot would make you think she's gonna go in. It's very confusing not being able to fully explain what's going on there, but there you go. My plans for NaNoWriMo at large, because that will be in November. This place I'm going to, I will be gone for either a week or 2 weeks. I haven't decided yet. It depends on prices and such. And so I will definitely be bringing my laptop, because at that point I will be in a stage that I'll explain later that no matter what, I'm gonna need to do some sort of work while I'm gone. That might not be what I want to do, but it really depends. I will probably need to bring my laptop. I'm going to bring it. Even if I'm like, okay, I have no work whatsoever, like I will still bring it just in case. We had a whole travel tip video on why I'm bringing that. I think I want to participate in NaNoWriMo again, because I haven't missed a year since like 2013, I think, when I started. Like, I've never missed a year. I've at least participated. I have not always won, but I always want to attempt to participate. So originally I was going to do my Secret Dark Fantasy for that, but now I have this elemental bad guy story that I talk about in this vlog here that might take over for that. But we will see how I am feeling when NaNoWriMo comes around. But I'm keeping both of those in a balancing act, trying to figure out which one I really want to do. But both of them are very good, very angsty, so they're both options. Other things that the rewrite is changing is that I've combined a character who I know my betas enjoyed quite a bit. Specifically, certain people enjoyed them quite a lot. And then they didn't have very many feelings about the other character, but that's now why I'm combining them into a solid person, and taking two characters and combining them, which is leading to some really interesting dynamics and that are way more angsty, and I'm so excited. Like, the book needed any more angst. But I'm really excited for it, and none of my past betas or my CPs have guessed who I've combined, so I really want them to know, but I also don't want them to know because I feel like they'll hurt me. So we'll see. We'll definitely be seeing about that one. But I'm not changing it. The character's already combined in my mind. I haven't gotten to the point where they show up yet, but it's just the plot works so much better when they're like the same person. I've cut other characters too. I didn't want to cut them, but they just needed to be gone. They were like, didn't serve any point to the plot. One of them I know a lot of my betas really liked, but they served basically the same purpose as two other characters, so I decided to give more purpose to those two other characters rather than having the purpose of three characters split that way. Just give those other two characters more purpose and cut the third person out who really doesn't need to be there. I know a lot of people have been asking me about beta reading, which is like some of the questions we'll get to, but to go along with that, basically my plan for finishing this rewrite is that I know it needs to finish the rewrite. I need probably a quick edit to like check for grammar and stuff, which I always do just to like remember the full story before I dive into deeper edits where everything that I notice that is wrong, I will go and I will fix it, or I will add to it. I will replace, you know, like missing words and stuff that I couldn't remember or that I like didn't want to make up at the time, and then a third edit just to make sure that, like, line editing, make sure things are consistent, make sure that grammar is okay and punctuation's okay, spelling, and then just line editing to make it all sound better. And then once I'm like content with it, then I will go and request for more betas. And after that I will do another round of edits from their tips and from their advice. I will probably be printing it out at that point and like writing an actual red pen to get it all like in my head. And then depending on what time that is, I may or may not enter author mentor match. It'll probably, I'm just saying right now, probably won't be. Just because that's, I'm pretty sure, in October, and I'm not sure how long the rewrite itself will take me. The edits, I feel like, won't take me that long, but I also don't know how long it's going to take betas to get through, because some betas get through really fast, others take a little bit longer, and I want to take more time with my betas this time and do probably chapter by chapter. I was giving them 3 chapters before because chapter by chapter was a little much when I have 29 chapters, but I really want to be more dedicated and more consistent with my betas, and because I kind of like failed last time. We already had a conversation about this, and so I want to be more consistent, and I want to like actually talk with them more one-on-one and like ask them to elaborate on certain things, and then that could add a lot more time to it as well. I also don't know how long the draft is going to be, especially because it's already 10k words and the inciting incident hasn't even happened yet, which is fills me with nervousness. Blech, that's not good English. But I have cut a lot of stuff out of it at the same time, so I'm hoping that I can not be right. Like I'm hoping I can end it around 100k, and then I can go through and edit out filler words, and that'll probably get rid of like 5,000 words. And then depending on beta feedback, they can just tell me what more to cut out. But depending on how long that takes, I might not enter Author Mentor Match again this year. I really love entering it though. It's so freaking cool, and I love the feedback that I've always gotten from it. Like I've pretty much perfected my freaking query from that thing, and from the like I think it was the Write on Com forums, and because I won a contest through Author Mentor Match to have my query critiqued, I got it critiqued by a whole lot of freaking people. So like shout out to all of them, and I think it's the strongest it's ever been. I feel like there probably could be a few things changed now just because the story has changed, but the heart of it is still there, and I feel like my story is going to reflect my query more than it did before. I may or may not enter that this year. I'm not sure. If not, I will save it for next year depending on whether or not I queried. But if I already missed Author Mentor Match, and whenever I'm finished with it, I will go and put some feeler queries out there and see how they do. But also, I will probably be finished with it around the time Christmas rolls around, or I'll be beta reading around that holiday time. And that's the mistake I made with my first round of betas, is that it was Christmas and everybody was all over the place, so it took people several months to finish the book. You know, it wasn't the best time to go and recruit betas, so I feel like if I'm at the point of having to take betas during the holidays, I will probably request that people submit to me and then not actually hold betas until mid to end of January, and just so that people like have the time to like adjust from the holiday life and get back used to it, so like their everyday life, you know? And then if it's querying, people always argue that like you can query during the holidays. I know I'm a really anxious person, and so I don't want to be sitting around waiting during the holidays to see whether or not anyone's like answered my query or not, so I just choose not to query during the holidays because everyone's with their families, and I feel like I'm bugging people. I know that's stupid because like that's their little job, and they're not necessarily on vacation either, but it does slow down a little bit during the holidays, and I don't want to be that anxious person during the holidays refreshing my email when I should be enjoying the holidays. So if I'm already done with betas by that time, I will go and save my querying for the end of January. So that's around the time frame I'm thinking. I will either be doing betas in like end of October, November-ish, maybe early November into early December, so hopefully people aren't like on holiday except for like Thanksgiving in the middle, or I will be saving my querying probably for either that time and stop it during the holidays and start again in January. I'll probably just save any querying for January. I really wanted to query this year, but I'm rewriting the thing, so it didn't go that way, and that's okay. But I really want to try and get betas done by the end of the year so that I can query starting next year. I have this awesome book that I got today. I swore I wasn't going to buy any more books, especially because I just read like a freaking awesome book on budgeting and everything, but I had a gift card, so I got this and like an awesome Funko Pop. I haven't even talked on my vlog about the Funko Pop situation that's going on in my life. Like, that's a whole new thing, but let me get the book. Okay, I have not seen this book before, but my sister says she has, so I'm thinking that it's not that new, but it's new to me, and that is Tarot for the Fiction Writer, and this is such a cool freaking book. Like, if I just flip through, like, it's so pretty on the inside. God, this is not like a bendy book, but it's got like this cool artwork on the top. But basically it's kind of like a book where if you're stuck in your story, or you need like help with like a character arc, or like to finish like a plot line or something, you know, all those kinds of things where we get stuck, you can use your tarot deck to actually go and get out of it, and it goes by card telling you, like, you know, what it can mean like fictionally, you know, and how you can use them for that. And for me, because I've changed so much in the book, there's certain things that I feel like just don't connect anymore, and so I want to use this to find interesting ways to connect those parts that need a little bit of like oil to, you know, get them turning again. So I, like, of course I have tarot cards. I got a whole lot of freaking witchy stuff over there, like so many. So this I'm really excited about. I might be taking this to the Wanda Writers Retreat with me along with my tarot deck, to be honest with you, because I'm very excited about this. Also, it smells so good. And like the back is just this W that reminds me of Twisted Fate by Jesse Elliott, like the font. So that made me happy as well. You can't even see that on camera, but it's got like a little, there you go. See like the twirly there behind the other lettering? That's right, it reminds me of Twisted Fate by Jesse Elliott. Yeah, I'm really excited to use this to try and figure out those in-betweens that are a little messy right now. Also, the thing that's changing about these writing episodes is that stupid music companies are stupid. And the last time I posted a writing episode, I got copyright infringement from one of the people who like puts out the music for one of the bands that I featured. It's not even the band themselves, it's like their producers, you know, like so they copyrighted the thing. So that video, if you go and watch it, it has commercials on it. When I don't get revenue from YouTube, when I'm not even monetized anymore. I've gotten all of $10 from YouTube back when I was monetized. Yeah, so there's ads on that, and there's money being made off of you guys watching my last writing episode, but I'm not getting a dime of it. So unfortunately I'm gonna have to cut the music out of these, but I'll still be giving song recommendations. It's just, even with that video sped up and me dancing to it, and you not even being able to see like the music video, they still got me for copyright infringement. So I don't even know how they figured that the fuck out, but I'm mad about it. It's whatever. But I will tell you guys my recommendations that remind me of my world. Ooh, that's like good lighting. I look really pale though. And that is the entire Doomsday album by Bastille. I can never pronounce it. I'm too tongue-tied. But that entire album is like so speedy book, and it's also so good, so listen to all of it. And now we're going to the questions. These are ones that I got off of Twitter. So my CP asked, how is Knights doing in the rewrite? For those of you who don't know, Knights is an awesome, sassy, drunken character in my book. Everyone loves him. No matter what or who you are, you gotta love Knights. I've not met a single beta out of the many betas that I've had who didn't like Knights. And even, this is from Evie Driver, she hasn't even read the book to the point where Knights comes in, I don't think. So she just heard things from Jessie and just going, oh my god, I love Knights. And I'm just like, everyone loves Knights, even if you just hear about him, you're like, I love that bitch. So how's he doing in the rewrite? I was messing with her and saying like, oh, you know, he's doing terrible. But no, he is doing fine. His character is actually getting a whole lot more depth to him. He's still like the overly sexual, like sassy asshole that he is. Don't get me wrong. But he's got like a whole lot more depth to him this time. He's introduced like way earlier in the book. He's in there like chapter 3 onward. Before he wasn't even in there until like chapter 7 or something. So he's in there way earlier. He has so much more depth to him. And I'm handling his background like so much like better. It's just a million times more complex and just fits the story so much better. Oh, and this is another thing that I changed about the book. I don't know if I'm gonna keep with this, but I'm pretty sure I am. Before, I would say that Soraya ends up on a ship that is made up of half criminals and half military personnel. Now the ship is just criminals. So everyone on the ship is a criminal. And for those of you who've read the book, you know that that implies certain people who weren't criminals before are criminals now. Not saying any more on that, but all of them have some sort of criminal background that landed them in a situation where they have to work to basically be free. They have to basically work for the military in space. So Knights is in that situation, but we already sort of knew that he was sort of a criminal, but now he's getting a little bit more of his criminal streak, which I feel like will be good for the arc that I have planned for the character. This next one is from, I'm sorry if I mispronounce or that this isn't your name. I know for certain her last name is Rodriguez, but the first name, I looked it up, and it's like the name of also an anime and a mythical creature, so I'm not sure if it's their actual name. We talk on Twitter, but like, and I know I called her like Kumi at some point, but I don't know if that's her actual name. I'm horrible. Because like the name's not in the bio. At least it wasn't on the new Twitter on my desktop. I really don't know. But Rodriguez, I'm sorry. But it says, will I be open to betas? Yes, I'm hoping to be open to betas either in the fall to winterish time or like January. So probably October, November, December-ish time. Most likely November, December-ish time, or January, February time. So feel free to join at that point in time when I put out a call for betas. And then my dear friend Kenzie asked, when can I read it again? And this brings up the question that I think a lot of people have asked me, but I know it's been a general question from a lot of my past betas, is will I allow for repeat betas, aka people who read the book before as either my critique partner or my beta reader, can they read it again? And my answer is absolutely yes. You guys totally can, because the book has changed so much that if you were to try and read the sequel without having Jesus, if you would try to read the sequel without reading the new rewritten first book, then you wouldn't understand what's happening in the sequel. The sequel still follows the same general like arc that I've had planned, that I set up at the end of book 1. That hasn't changed no matter how many people try to make me change it. It's not. Yeah, I would appreciate it if past betas would like to read it again, or my CP partners would like to reread it, because it's brand spanking new. Like, I'm not copying lines unless it's like one line that I really like from the other one, but most of the time I'll like remember those lines exist and I'll just write them like naturally into the story. Yeah, it's a brand new thing, so if you want to go and reread it, I would appreciate it. I certainly am going to ask all my past betas if they would like to try again with it, even if they didn't finish it, or even if they did. I would appreciate getting a comparison on what people read before on what they're reading now, because I know it wasn't my best work. I thought at the time that it was, and I've learned so much since then that I feel like a totally different writer since when I wrote that story. I don't necessarily think it was bad, but the beginnings especially needed work, and now I've worked so hard on these first 10K words for the past like month and a half, 2 months, that I feel rather confident, especially in my first page. My first page is so fucking good, guys. I've gone through like over 13 drafts and 4 rewrites. I never fully liked my first page, but I finally like let up. I was holding on to the first line for ages. Ever since I decided on the trial happening as the first thing in the book, I was holding on to one specific line that the book started with, and I have since let go to it, and it has a better first line now, and it just lends more to Soraya's voice. She really comes through, and she allows the reader to just ease their way into the story more, and I'm so excited about that. So yes, if you would like to reread the book or read it for the first time, I will be open to betas either fall or either mid-fall to late winter of this year / 2020. So I'm very excited. That's where I am in the book. That's how it's been going. That's my song recommendation, my album recommendation. And those are the questions answered. So if you have any more questions about me, my writing process, or my book, #SpeedBook, do leave them down below and I will answer them in the next writing episode, because I love making these ones for you guys. They're probably my favorite thing to talk about is my book, even though I get a little tongue-tied sometimes, my bad. And then other times I can't fully tell you guys what's going on, because 1, I don't want to spoil my own book, and 2, because who knows what's going to change at this point. I know I've told you guys so much stuff that's like not in there anymore. The core thing that is, though, is Soraya and her gang of misfits that are criminals, either mostly or fully, in space with aliens, and a little bit of horror, a little bit of like angst, a lot of angst. And a lot of Morley Gray. A whole lot of Morley Gray. That's the main theme of the entire freaking book, I feel like. It's just Morley Gray assholes try and not kill each other while they kill monsters instead. but they also love each other at the same time, but they won't tell you that. So if you liked this video, do give it a big old thumbs up and comment your questions down below or anything at all that you would like to tell me, like whether or not my hair is a fucking mess like usual. But I'm gonna go now, so remember to subscribe because I make writing harm related videos every Friday and you guys will be getting regular videos, not some half-assed videos anymore, regular videos, damn it. But I gotta know, so bye!
Trying to step back and see the view from above, 'cause I know that